Joyful Lux Splendor. It is Thursday night, and we are playing Fading Suns. In case you are following us and haven't heard, go check out Bill Bridges, who is the writer and designer of Fading Suns. He had a Lux Splendor announcement for Fading Suns that we are pretty close to seeing the thing going to Kickstarter. It's in layout right now. He's got a gorgeous picture of the cover of the book, so check that out. And we are here tonight with our last Fading Suns of the year. When we come back, it will be in 2020, which is kind of hard to believe because we've been playing Fading Suns now for over a year. We've only been streaming it for less than that. I actually don't know how long we've been streaming it. It does not feel like that long. So, tonight I thought before we got into the story of where we left off, with Gemma and Jexa having discovered who is behind the Morlocs, and that's right, and capturing Dr. Fineman, and bringing him onto the Oh Boy. Before then, I thought I would go over the new rules. There's been a rules update, so these are the final rules going forward. There's just a couple of minor things, so I figured I'd discuss them, just chat about them, and see how we think they're going to play out in the game, because we're definitely going to be using these going forward. So I need you to take, incredible notes. Don't miss a thing. So initiative is basically going to work the same way, except I, as the GM, can interrupt, like you've been able to interrupt. But I have to pay you victory points to do it. So if I interrupt, I can't interrupt my own character's action. I can only interrupt, if you declare Becca's going to go, I can go, no, my guy is going to go next. But I have to pay the person whose turn I'm about to interrupt victory points. So they get points that they can use to resist the attack roll or something like that.
Is my interruption still free?
Your interruption is still free as long as you haven't acted yet, but you have to perform a combat action. You can't interrupt and then, compose poetry or...
That's what Gemma.
That's totally what Gemma would do. Roses are red, violets are blue, I hit you real hard, there's red on you. Something like that. The noble overrule now only applies to... no, it does apply to themselves or a different player that hasn't acted yet. So there's no cost or anything. But the main difference is, so the way we've been playing up until now, you could accumulate basically as many victory points as you wanted to over the course of a series of rolls, and they would just go away at the end of the scene, right? So now they go away at the end of the action if you're not in combat, or at the start of your next turn if you're in combat. So basically, when you make a perception check, when you're done making your perception check, if you rolled a 19 in critical, when you're done making your perception check, all of those VP that you haven't spent on the roll go away. Now you have that bank stat, which is how many points you can carry from scene to scene. You can, before they go away, transfer as many as you want into the bank up to the maximum. So right now you guys' max is 10. You can also, in theory, pull them out at any point. So if you have 10 points in your bank, and I shoot you, and you have nothing in your victory point pile, you can take all 10 points out of your bank and apply it to your resistance roll. But basically, there's not going to be any more of, I have 30 victory points. You're basically going to be capped at your bank at the start of your turn in combat or after you're done with an action outside of combat.
Okay.
But it's free to transfer in and out of your bank. It doesn't take an action. It's to prevent, hey, I rolled real well on 3 rolls, and now I've got 40 victory points to spend over the next couple of actions. The other thing that they did add, however, is something called a precision bonus.
Okay.
So, say you had that case where you rolled a 19 on something in combat. Your bank is 10, your bank's empty, so you say, all right, I'm moving 10 of these into my bank. You have 9 points left over. You can, for the next action you take, say, cool, I'm putting these 9 points towards the next action I take. Whether it's a dodge roll, it doesn't have to be. It could be a reaction, but you can just say, I'm really focused in on the very next thing I'm going to do, so those points don't just kind of evaporate, if that makes sense. We'll play it back and forth a little bit, I'll try and remind you, hey, remember, points go away. Is there anything you want to move into your bank before your turn starts? Thoughts?
Does that change vault at all? Or not vault, search?
No, your search still works the way it has. They just go right into your pool.
Okay. I think it will take doing it to figure out what that is.
Yeah. Essentially, it's just, and I'll try and remind you tonight and then probably for all of January. And really, you guys picked Fading Sun super easy. You can't keep more than your bank value between either rolls in non-combat situations or between turns in combat situations. If you have more than your bank, spend them on like defense or something before you start your turn. Because at the start of your turn, whatever's in front of you goes to 0 and only what's in your bank is what you get to have for that turn.
Okay, so use extra VP wisely.
Yes. For as the true roll brings wisdom, the false roll, I can't do that scene very well. Anyway, so I figure we'll just jump right into it and go from there.
Okay.
So, at some point in the near future, you're going to be read into Operation RavenWatch.
Mm-hmm.
So my thought is, we will do that read-in right now,
Okay.
and then after our break, we will do the kind of come back to where you guys were before where we left off last week. You're okay with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So eventually, you do find yourself called. You got your timers ticking down. You had 36 hours to be read in. And you find yourself back at the Battle Order Cathedral, the Cathedral of St. Maya. And Theophana kind of welcomes you in. You can see Brother Emerson is there as well. And the two of them are wearing their full regalia. Like, Brother Battle armor, tabards, the helms are sitting there. Everything smells of gun oil and polish and sort of that sterile smell of rebreathed air as everyone's kind of been testing their suits. And you've been in a number of other battle order offices back on my brain just died. Lemon Canaan.
Mm-hmm.
And here she has a very small, stark metal desk that and there's no chairs, and it sits high enough that you're pretty sure it would come up to about here on Gemma, the tabletop, or on Jexa. The rest of you can kind of comfortably lean over.
Mm-hmm.
And Theophana looks at you, so you've decided to be read in, have you?
I have. If I can be of service, I would like to be of service.
Well, we need everyone that we can get on this. Brother Emerson, the door, and you see he walks over and the door closes, and you can hear the click of it locking,
Mm-hmm.
and a soft hum fill the room. All of your comms to the oboe cut out. All right. What I'm about to tell you is for the Order's eyes and ears alone. To repeat this to anyone, not only will you be brought up on charges, but you will be severely sanctioned, possibly incarcerated for the rest of your life. Your ability to operate outside of a Battle Order monastery will be revoked. What do you know of stigmata? You've heard the term. Stigmata is a planet. It is basically where the Stigmata garrison fleet is located. The Battle Order hold a space station in the Stigmata sector, and their job is to make sure nothing comes through that gate. On the other side of that gate lie symbiote worlds. If you remember back to Limbus, the viral infection on Limbus I mentioned a couple of times, or some resemblance to the symbiote infection of some of the other worlds. They are a bio-organic race that bonds and transforms people into one of their own. The only reason that you guys have had any chance of stopping them for the longest time was the Eshkatonic Order, the ones who practice clergy and sort of the mental powers of the church. In fact, it is only due to their effectiveness against the symbiotes that the Order was really allowed to be part of the Universal Church proper. Behind the Stigmata Gate, there are 3 worlds. Daishan, Chernobog, and Absolution.
What was the second one?
Chernobog, share, like share, no bog. Yep. The tiny moon of Sunny. No, just... Thanks for that, man.
I'm here for you.
The planets on the other side of that gate are forbidden, right? The symbiote world, there are places in the Stigmata system that have symbiote outbreaks. The moon, some of the highlands, the Battle Order has been recently making very strong advancements against the symbiotes in Stigmata. We believe that their world seed has gone into some sort of torpor, or perhaps, I do not know if hibernation is the correct term, but we've forced the symbiote threat into remission. There does not seem to be as many of them in Stigmata, and those that we kill are not reinforced nearly as quickly as they were. This is not where we are going with RavenWatch. She reaches down and she touches some parts of the table, and you see part of the table retracts and a small projector kind of rises up. Emerson kind of leans in. We abandoned the people of Absolution nearly 20 years ago when we were forced out of that system. Most of the Imperial forces argue that the planet has been totally infected and should be scorched, bombed from orbit, nuked, just to be sure, like we did with Daishan. Theophana says, but we received this. She pushes a button, and there's Stigmata Station. This is Absolution. Do you copy? We have... And it goes away. That message was sent 2 weeks ago. The Imperial policy is that it's a trap. That we are not to go through the Stigmata Gate. We are not to see if any people on that planet have survived. I have come to a different conclusion. We're going through that gate. We're going to see who sent that message, and if they can be saved, we're going to bring our people back. So now you have two options, and you hear a safety go off behind you. Emerson has now moved sort of behind you. Are you in or out?
I looked, does he have a gun on me?
He has his hand on his sidearm. And you know that the slug throwers that your order carries, they're a custom deal. They are not the same caliber that, Jexa can't fire a pistol designed for a battle mark. Right? You're bigger, you're larger, you're tougher. But you're pretty sure that would put a nice big hole.
I don't know that I like the coercion, and I'll look back at Emerson.
It's not coercion, it's just to make sure. We've had a number of monks who, I can promise you they are all okay, but they are enjoying a different kind of sound until we leave. I attempted to inform Alexius, the Emperor, attempted to inform the Patriarch what we are doing in an attempt to shut us down. This is a battle order operation, and it is off the books.
I take no issue with that. In my recent travels, we have come across what some would consider to be miracles. And so I am willing to accept that there may be folks alive, and it's up to us to see that through.
You hear the safety kick back on, the door opens, and Emerson leaves. Tell me about these miracles, Gemma, that you've seen.
So, remind me, I know that she has risen in the ranks recently. Is she someone, I mean, obviously she's flying in the face of orders now. Is she someone who has typically allowed for possibly heretical thoughts, or is she someone who's tend to walk more the straight and narrow by reputation?
Give me a faith plus empathy roll.
Okay, so how does it work is I have banked 10 from last time.
So if you would like to transfer any of them out into this roll, you can do so for free right now in the same way that you used them before.
Okay.
So instead of them being in like your active cash, you have to
move
you move them, and essentially there is no time requirement for moving things in or out of your bank.
Okay. So I will move 5 to bump that up to a 15, because you said a faith plus empathy, right?
Yes.
13.
Okay.
So I don't keep any of those.
You can so right now you can transfer 1. You spend however many you want to gain, to improve your result. Right? So if you spent 6, you would get the best possible result from this.
Okay.
You can then transfer as much as you want into your bank up to your cap, and then whatever you have left, you can say, I'll apply it to my next roll. I'm fine with it just disappearing. Basically, whatever you can do there.
Okay. So I will use 6, which leaves then 5 to get my bank back up to 10.
Okay. With a best result, you definitely get the feeling that Sister Theophana knows she's doing the right thing and knows the cost that doing the right thing is going to have on her. She is a dead sister walking, whether that means she doesn't expect to come back from absolution, or if she makes it back, she doesn't expect to be in command anymore, if that makes sense. So, her question is sort of laced with the desire for something to give her hope.
The miracles I have seen are perhaps not miracles as the church would rate them. But they have been miracles to me in that I have seen the light appear in places where light had been forgotten. I have seen figures from our past who we have overlooked come back to relevancy. And relevancy in a way that I think will be good for the church. And so I take hope in that. I see that as a miracle that those who have come before can still affect our day-to-day lives now. You know, we take a lot of stock in saints, but sometimes I think we give them lip service. But I have seen those saints in action as of late, and I take comfort in that.
So it says here that you recently went to Lemmincaim. Did you speak with the sister who was in charge of the order there?
Yes. I do know her name.
Marguerite?
Marguerite, yes.
Marguerite says that you came back from a place that's very much like where we are headed.
That is correct. We found ourselves on the other side of Sheol's gate. And found ourselves on a world that was slowly being overrun by symbiote-like creatures. The ravages of war damaged the planet in such a way that hell itself began to issue forth. But people were surviving. They weren't thriving, but they were surviving. And so that's what gives me hope for absolution, that if people could survive there, perhaps there is hope for absolution.
How did you deal with the situation there, Sister Gemma? What?
Little part faith, part ingenuity. We were able to rig the defenses in such a way to stop an incursion and prolong their defenses long enough for us to get a ship there to rescue people. But also discovered that that was a planet that had been visited by saints of old, and drawing on their presence, on their guidance, we're able to what's the right word? Subdue the threat for the time being. Almost instill a ceasefire. Hopefully long enough to get the people out.
You realize it will probably take a miracle to get us past the stigmatic garrison. I have allies I can call who are getting through the stigmatic gate. Not be an easy task. There's more to the message, more which I will share with you once we are aboard the transports. Tell me, how did you deal with these symbiote-like people who had been under siege by them? Is there any chance? How are the people changed? The survivors, I mean. Were they worth saving?
Yeah, they were worth saving. This particular symbiote moved relatively slowly. So, if someone was infected, while it was an extreme measure, amputation was a possibility to remove the infection until it spread. The people on Olympus had developed scanners as a means of detecting who had been infected where and to what degree it had spread. However, to be taken. I have acquaintances who might remember how the tech functioned or have an idea of how it functioned. But for the most part, it was brute force. They used flamethrowers.
Well, what I mean is, or the souls of the people who had been under siege so long and were only war. They were saving.
Yes. There were children. There were adults. Again, I'm not entirely sure how they kept their wits and their sanity, but they were as healthy as you and I, but born. Being under siege for that long tends to take a toll.
Sometimes I think the Imperial mind forgets that. And some of us who are on the lines, more often than not, that remember what we're fighting for.
It's easy to forget when you sit behind a desk.
Or on a throne.
Or on a throne.
Just not this room.
Are the comms still off in this room?
Mm-hmm.
In that case, I will approach the desk closer than I have. I haven't been far, but
Right.
We'll walk up and we'll show her the crudely engraved. I don't think Gemma's an artist. Icon of Beatrice.
Okay.
And we'll say, not only do bureaucrats forget what we fight for, but they forget who fights with us.
I'm not familiar with that.
There is a saint from several hundred years ago.
Longer than that. Yeah.
Thousands of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Who was known as Beatrice. The Lady of Light.
There's one thing I regret.
Just one?
Just the one.
Just the one. And she was known for bringing light throughout the galaxy. And as it turns out, Olympus was her final resting place. And even in death, her light helped to keep the darkness away. Her light was the reason we were able to strike a compromise, to get the people who need to be gotten out. I don't know that you need to know all the nitty-gritty details, but I believe that she will go with us into this darkness, because that is what she has done and what I believe she will continue to do. Do I know, does Stigmata or the Stigmata Gate match any of the...
It does not.
Does not.
No. In fact, it's sort of in the opposite direction, jump gate-wise. Right, so Xanthicus Salutis is sort of here.
Mm-hmm.
You were wanting to try and head towards Holy Terra or Artemis, or Shoproot is on the way. You'll head through Shoproot to get to Stigmata, but it's sort of on the opposite side of Byzantium Segunus space-wise. Tell me, have you ever had command? You ever found yourself in charge? One of our smaller squads. They're filled mostly with neophytes. Fresh out of monastery, but it's still shiny. No scratches on their armor. Ready to be pointed at the enemies of the church. So their sergeant in charge is a good man, but he's one of the ones who tried to share what we were doing here. Ginas currently languishes themselves. I am not proud of that, but I find myself in need of someone with a cooler head, some experience. Even if we get through Stigmata Gate, I expect heavy resistance long before we make any sort of planet fall. I don't know what to expect on the other side.
You had asked me 3 months ago if I felt ready to command a group of untested individuals.
Hotshots, if you will.
Probably would have said no. But my time with my present companions has honed my abilities, and if nothing else, leveled my temper a great deal. I will not say that I am a tried and tested leader, but if it is asked of me, that's what I would do.
Well then, Sister Gemma, I'm tempted to put you in command of this squad. I believe the Pen Creator brought you to me just in my moment of need. We embark in 24 hours. Finish whatever you need to do. And be back here. I will have the 4 members of your squad ready for presentation. I will assign you a berth in the requisition gear. I'm sure we will talk again before we leave, but until then, Pen Creator go with you.
Pen Creator with you.
She makes the sign of the jump gate cross, and the static goes down, and you hear, "No, I distinctly said, plus interest, Jexa. 85 Firebirds plus interest." Comms have come back on.
Yeah. Being with these people definitely worked on Gemma's patience.
Yeah. So is there anything else you would want to do in the cathedral before you head back to the Oval?
She would probably want to spend some time in meditation. I think, and we've talked about this a little bit, but Gemma kind of finds herself torn between the patron saint of her upbringing, her order, and Beatrice. So, a saint essentially of self-immolation, which this mission feels very in line with.
Mm-hmm.
And Beatrice, this lady of light, who obviously gave herself for the Pan Creator, but in a very different way.
Mm-hmm.
And so would probably want to spend an extended amount of time in prayer and meditation to both, kind of seeking guidance and wisdom as she steps into a situation where she feels that both are needed, but doesn't know what the outcome is. So stepping into this, trusting that this is where she's supposed to be stepping into, but also going, I mean, sure, Calypso is about as big of a hotshot as you can get, but 4 of Calypso feels like a lot.
It does feel like a lot. As you head towards the meditation areas, you do see a small info packet come into your armor and through your comms, and you can see that you're basically being assigned a medic, 2 stock battle monks, and then a heavy weapons expert. So you're starting to get, she's putting together briefing packets for you that you'll be able to look through and see really what you have. But I mean, honestly, one of them is from Lemon Canaan, fresh off the line. Marguerite, Brother Raphael is the one that Marguerite trained, and there's some discipline issues. But as you remember, coming out of when you're trained to fight all the time, sometimes walking that line between fight and focus is... People tend to stray, one side or the other. It's very hard to walk that line. So... Let me look something up here. What is the name of your... the saint that you originally followed before stepping onto this? Master Isabella.
Yeah.
Master Isabella Cardozo. Well, here's the thing.
She died on absolution.
She died on absolution.
Uh-huh. Neat.
Or she was miraculously immolated before the symbiotes could get her. So you got that going for you.
Find the bodies with 2 saints.
That's right.
Great year for Gemma.
That's right. On the moment of your death, you'll achieve perfect immolation. You got that going.
Wait, are you saying I'm gonna die?
Well, you do find a chapel to Master Isabella. It is on one of the spires of the Cathedral of St. Maya. And perhaps appropriately, you arrive here near sunset, so all of the red light that's coming off from the ocean is sort of coming through the red stained glass that is the emulating flames that are starting to engulf her as she stands wielding a broken sword on top just this monstrous pile of creatures. Per usual, there are no nailers in the Battle Order meditation chambers. There's cold, hard stone. Mm-hmm. The kind of stone that's, they're built into places so that the cold sort of seeps into the stone. And just kneeling in meditation is sort of castigating in and of itself. The cold kind of sinks into your legs and kind of works its way up. Mm-hmm. But if you like to meditate, give me a... so you have two options here,
okay.
Gemma. If you want to give me a will plus focus, you can kind of try and mentally prepare yourself for what's going forward.
Okay.
And kind of looking back on the past steps of your life that have brought you to here, kind of pick out nuggets that may be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
If you would like to try and get a vision of the future, you can give me a faith plus focus roll to sort of see if there's someone out there who might gift you with some sort of hope. The first one is a hard task, which means you need at least 4. you got to spend at least 4 to have that focus kind of to center yourself. The other one is a tough task, which is 8, because you're kind of reaching out and seeing what else you can find. So,
I will, because I have 2 now, I will surge.
okay.
Because I feel like this is important. And then I will, so faith plus focus, it's 12.
Okay.
So to
It's
get
a
that
60%
up,
chance.
right, so I want to get that up to a 19. So that would be, nerds math. Okay, so surge gets me 9 now, I believe. Sorry guys, news abilities.
No, go for it. Take your time.
Endurance or will to your surge. So my endurance 7. Oh, that's right. So my surge is now a 16. So, I will surge to get the 16, and then I will use, what did I say, 12? So I will use 7 to get it to 19.
Okay.
16 minus 7, 9. Okay. And then can I, if I don't, so those 9 VP, can I then, if I'm successful, put those towards?
Yes.
Okay, so I just, a 9. Okay. So.
All right. So again,
Use.
8 will cost you to
Mm-hmm.
beat the resistance rating of this action, and then you can spend up to 6 to get. Every 2 you spend up to 6 will give you an additional piece of information.
Okay. Dumping all of that in. So I should have 4 left. But I can't bank them, so I will put them towards whatever happens next.
Your precision.
Mm-hmm. How precisely I see the future.
So long as it takes place before your next turn ends, so that doesn't apply here.
Well,
So.
okay, great.
So they will just go away.
But that's okay.
All right.
Boop. But my bank is still full, so that's nice.
So I will give you.
Whoa.
So you will get 4 images from your vision of the future. Mainly because you're meditating sort of on what Beatrice has taught you, your experiences that have gone forward, and you kind of have the feeling that Beatrice is active still in some way in the universe. Saint Beatrice is not just, as you said, someone that people tend to pay lip service to. This is something that is... She is a force for light that is at least active in your lives.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. So. My notes.
Meditation.
So first of all, you get a pervasive sense of serenity. Even though you are not on the path that you've thought that you've had to follow, you get this feeling that part of being a pilgrim is that every step on the path is progress, not just direct. It's not about the shortest path, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So you get that pervasive sense of I don't want to say absolution, but definitely of peace in the direction you're headed, even though you're headed into the midst of what promises to be a pretty violent struggle.
Mm-hmm.
You get 4 flashes, 4 images in your head.
Mm-hmm.
The first is of a young woman with short, buzzed red hair in an Imperial naval officer's uniform. and her hand hovers over a fire button, and she is struggling back and forth whether to press it or not. The second vision is of a small family. You can't really make out how many. There's more than 3 or 4 of them, but some of the shadows seem to be moving behind them. Dirty, not malnourished, but definitely not well fed. Hiding behind a metal door that shows the markings ABU 008 on it.
Okay.
You definitely see images of the carapace and bioorganic soldiers that have been converted to symbiotes racing over the broken wall of a small cathedral, a small chapel, and the sounds of screams, and then the heavy burst fire of one of those lasers that you saw kind of mounted on the walls of Limbus, and then you can see you hear the snap crackle of a flamer kind of gutting, and there's just this blast of fire, and you can feel the heat as it rushes past you. And then the last image, to you, seems sort of the most clear. You can feel the wind rushing past your face. You have held onto the open door of a battle order gunship as it prepares for landing often enough to know what that roar and what that sensation feels like on your face. And standing on a mountain atop a broken pile of monstrous forms, holding a broken sword, is a blonde man with a long pleated beard. And he kind of looks up, and he looks right at you with piercing blue eyes, like startling blue. And you get the feeling that he can see you right now, and that peace that you have sort of you see reflected on his face. When you open your eyes, the sun has set and the whole chamber is dark.
I do what I can to kind of engrave those in my mind. Particularly the family and the number on the door.
Okay.
I mean, the rest of them, but in particular that number on the door. And then try to memorize the other faces I saw. So the young woman and the gentleman.
Okay. You are definitely able to do that with your leftover 4 VP.
Excellent. I mean, flamethrower in proximity is great, but...
You'd recognize that chapel and that chapel wall.
Did it look like... Could I make out any of the iconography on the chapel wall? Like, was it a chapel of Master Isabella, or is it just...
It was just a chapel. But what you did notice is that there were definitely sort of alien vines and tendrils that have kind of climbed up and over the wall and were blossoming on the way back down on the inside.
Wow, I cannot spell anymore. Okay. Does the young woman with buzzed hair match any of the files that I was sent?
No. She's definitely Imperial Navy, probably the Stigmata garrison fleet.
Okay.
Yeah. And you definitely saw the pins that indicate that she's definitely a captain.
With that in mind, I'll leave and I'll go to rest for the evening, but the next morning when I'm able, I want to calm Theophana and see if she recognizes the face, the description, anything to just say, hey, I had a vision of this. They're waffling. Is this someone you know? Is this someone we can reach out to solidify the waffling away from firing?
I do not know who that is, but I will do some digging and see if I can find out who is on board any of the captains aboard the Stigmata fleet. Why? Do you know why I should be looking into her? Why do you ask?
Well, I was meditating last night. I received a series of visions, and she was in one of them.
You had visions?
Yes.
I'm going to have you on the bridge with me. We'll go through the gate into the Stigmata Citadel. Perhaps you will see her. Maybe know what to do. I'll see you in 16 hours.
I'll head back to the old boy and pay quick attention to the comments, see what they're squabbling about now.
Alright. Well, we're going to take our break here. And when we get back, this will actually, Gemma and Jexa can then begin their interrogation of the doctor they pulled out of the sewers and see what is going on with the Morlocs and what is happening in the Agora of Byzantium Secundus. All these fish people that he seems to be working on with about. Yeah. So, we're going to go on break for 20 minutes. We will be back, and when we do, we will continue tonight's episode. Again, this is the last episode before we head out on holiday break. So, thank you for joining us this year. It's been an amazing year. It's been an amazing ride on this campaign. I love running this game every week. And a special thank you to all of our supporters, both on Patreon and on Twitter and on Twitch. But a special thanks to tonight to Rookcat for just, supporting us in streams. We really appreciate that. Thanks, Rookcat. And again, as I said, we'll be back in 20 minutes. This is Fading Suns. This is We're Iconic Production. So, all right, and we're back. So, the doctor unconscious, Gemma off to the cathedral, returning later the next morning. What has Jexa been doing for the night?
Tinkering on stuff. Not really talking to anybody after what she saw in that lab.
The fish people?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's just been messing with, the stuff in her bunk and trying to figure out if it's worth it, and sitting and contemplating that. At some point, she might have called Ventura? I can't believe I keep forgetting her name.
Ventura.
Oh, good! I didn't forget her name. Ventura, to see if she had any insight into it.
The lag between planet and station basically change and send a message.
Right. And so, yeah, that's probably what she did. And just, like, how do you wrestle with this if you see something? Like, I didn't go into detail about what I saw, but just kind of I don't know if technology is always that good. What do you do when you run into something that clearly isn't?
Well, the message comes back sort of in the morning. You have to figure out. It comes down to each person to figure out whether the ends justify the means, and whether the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
Oh, sorry. My fingers got stuck.
Good luck with whatever moral decision you are wrestling with.
Feels like she just sent you like a really generic greeting card.
That's kind of who she is. So yes, that's probably what
She's
happened.
from the engineers.
I have and always shall be. Wait, no.
She's not from the Engineers Guild.
Who was she?
No. No.
She's just a scientist.
She's a scientist. She works for the Inquisitor.
Oh, got it. Okay. Yes. So many names. NPCs. Oh, also Gregor's charging you interest.
What else?
Yeah, I know that was definitely clear.
Okay.
I just turned on my comm at one point and I heard that he was charging you interest.
Sure.
If you need help reviewing anything, we have a lot of data that we're going through right now, but I'd be glad to take a look at anything in my spare time. Yes, I hope everything's going well in Byzantium Secundus and that you have gotten to the Agora and done some shopping and seen the beach.
Dry blood. Dry blood. Dry blood.
The message back is like, thanks. I'll keep you updated as I can, and I still haven't seen the beach yet.
I mean, you saw the beach.
Maybe from a distance?
Yeah.
From way on top of the hill where we docked the ship.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Alright. So, Gregor has rigged up a chair that he's bolted to the cargo bay floor. And he has zip-tied the long and lanky doctor, not just to the chair, but to like a crate that he moved up behind, because the guy's just like so long that he had to like find other ways to make sure
extend the seat or whatever.
Yeah.
Does he? It's clear he has been somehow genetically modified, correct?
He has been modified somehow. Yes.
Does it look like they were self-imposed, or does it?
Something like that is not something you could, especially like, remember the surgical, like the metallic faceplate that he's wearing? That's not something you could just do yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, I suppose there's any way we can check before he wakes up to make sure he doesn't have, like, a cyanide pill in his tooth or something.
Does he have teeth?
He's got the metal thing that seems to be grafted over his lower jaw and cheeks.
Is there anything behind it?
We'd have to tear it off or take it off somehow.
No.
There's no, like, sharp wire.
Not that you can tell.
We're just gonna check all his pockets.
There's loose change.
I don't. He might have something. I've learned that people can set off smoke bombs from a distance. So I'm gonna check his body for triggers, buttons.
Speaking
devices,
of, where is Alestra?
No.
All right.
Small dye packets that can explode if we talk to him.
Yeah, no, it was good times. Lemminkainen. Such a simpler time.
No.
Simple's not exactly how I remember it.
Angst. Lots of angst.
I don't know, everything on this side of the screen went just like perfectly, so I don't know what you're talking about. It was fantastic. I miss Francesco every time I sit down to run a game in the Fading Suns universe.
Okay.
All right, so in his pockets, you find a key card. You find a small comm device that has been disabled or turned off.
Mm-hmm.
You find 3 Firebirds. They are inside of they're meticulously kept inside of this little synth-blast container. The comm is an old style comm, but it looks like it could have been manufactured yesterday. It's in just pristine condition.
Okay.
And then you also find around his neck a hexagonal locket that does not seem to open. You recognize it as having sort of like a bio lock on it.
Okay. Spit on it. Oh.
No, I do not lick the thing.
I can't tell when you're being serious and when you're not. Did not spit or lick the locket.
That's when you know your dry humor is.
No, I told him to spit on it, and then I went, oh, wait.
Oh, he's unconscious.
I know.
Can you just hold it up to the drool that's coming out of his mouth as he's unconscious?
There's no mouth.
There's an orifice.
There's a metal
There's
mask on the lower half of his.
Where does his voice come from then?
Remember, she short-circuited the voice box on the cybernetic device.
and I can put it back together.
You can turn it back on. Yep.
So, yeah.
I just thought he had, metal choppers.
Mm-mm.
It's bleak. Don't put you. Okay.
He is the opposite of a glass jaw.
Ow!
Okay. You gonna wake him up? Gregor gonna wake him up?
I'll wake him up.
Leave that to Gregor. Let's stand back a pace or two. He's got some reach.
He's upside down.
Yeah, but
I gotta get him to turn on.
About me.
I mean, you do.
Maybe turn on the voice, then have him wake him up.
Oh. Okay. I thought it was gonna be more, terrifying if he wakes up and he can't talk, and then we turn his voice back on. But sure, we'll start off nice, I guess. Because I go in and turn it on.
Okay. As you do, you get, you hear, a little, of it kicking back on, and the doctor's eyes open and look right at you.
Ugh! Hey!
You have the most interesting eye pattern. Have you ever had any testing done to see what caused that? I'm sure I could locate it for you. Where am I? I cannot hear them anymore.
You cannot hear
The fish people?
My children, yes.
The children that you stole from the Agora and then modified?
Yes.
And you're doing this because?
They are better.
Okay, better than...
You.
How so?
Can you breathe underwater?
Maybe.
He looks right at you and makes that face.
Can they breathe out of water?
No. I'm working on that. Did you save my research?
Where was it?
In the computers.
Where were the computers? I love computers. That's Becca, not Jexa. Where were, which computers?
The ones that...
Oh, sorry, Becca. Is he talking about the biometrics?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, I got that information. Okay. Yeah. Yeah?
Excellent. Now, who are you? And why have you interrupted me?
What's your name?
Gemma's just standing there with arms folded until Jexa gets tired.
Right, Gregor's also, standing up over here. Jexa's tough, okay?
I am Dr. Thaddeus Fineman. You hear like a little like it's either a speaker snap or he's mumbling. And you are?
Were you kicked out of the Engineers Guild or a medical field?
You are an engineer. That makes sense. They send you for me. I thought I had covered all of my tracks carefully.
Stealing children and setting off grenades in the Agora isn't really covering your tracks.
I did. I was an active participant in neither of those incidents.
Right, but they were working for you to get children to modify.
Of course, their DNA is perfect. Pre-adolescent. Biochemistry accepts the graphs better than... Well, I'm sure you understand. It is the same with what they did to you.
Except I don't have gills now.
No, you just stand nearly 7.5 feet tall and have fused ribs and multiple organs that are redundant. Redundant organs. That will ensure their safety.
Wait, whoa. Does Gemma know, like, Klingon?
Sure.
Dude.
Listen.
Their safety? Why? What's harming them?
Nothing yet, but it is coming.
What is coming?
I have been told.
What have you been told and by whom?
I don't know who. You have not told me your name yet. I feel like this is not an equitable exchange of
Kathy.
information.
My name is Kathy.
Yes, it is. Except for the fact that your pupils dilated and your skin temperature rose half a degree. And it's definitely... Yes, you're lying to me.
Okay.
Kathy.
You see, as Gemma says Kathy, her demeanor shifts just a little bit. Like, there's that, like...
Even that one could tell that she is lying.
So we are not people of science. Therefore, lies will become us.
Most of the people from the church that I have met would disagree with you.
Are you working with the church?
No. No. Nor the Engineers Guild. Did you both discover me? Do I have a mole? I should get that looked at.
Once again, setting off grenades in the Agora tends to draw attention.
I am most sorry for that. I will make reparations however I can. I have a large grant that I could... Would 70,000 Firebirds make up for it?
Are you making reparations to the children's parents you're taking? Because my understanding is you've gutted all of them.
The parents? No,
Yes.
I did not gut any parents.
Well, the people taking your special children have been gutting all of the children's parents. So there are multiple bodies stacking up on you.
So, you're saying I don't have anyone to pay reparations to?
I'm saying you've plenty of people to pay reparations to, they just can't collect.
Right, therefore there is a break in the transaction, and therefore there is no one to pay reparations to. Are you saying I should make donations in the names of those who have died?
Possibly, or to the surviving family members who now have lost not only a child, but a brother or sister or brother-in-law or sister-in-law.
That seems adequate. What are their names?
Just FYI, Jexa is taking a picture of him, and she wants to send it to Master Bella to see if she recognizes Dr. Thaddeus Fineman.
Okay. There will be there's going to be...
Yeah. That's why she's sending a message.
Okay.
Can you
Listen,
also
I did
send
not
one
realize
to
that Marcon's...
Head of the Knights.
Mateus.
And Theophana.
Oh,
Just make a note to
Theophana
say that
is-
later. Sorry.
Carbon copy.
Well, I mean, I have the ability to
Line
do it
carbon
too.
copy,
I just
line
can't
copy.
do...
Right.
I'm sorry.
No, that's...
What was he saying?
I did not realize that Markan's men were gutting people, and that seems counterintuitive to everything that I'm doing. I will cease using them going forward.
Is Markin the
May
one
I
paying
go
you?
now? What was that?
Is Markin the one who's funding your research?
Markan is one of my patrons, yes.
Mm-hmm. You have multiple patrons?
Yes.
Like
there
12?
No.
7?
Again, I'm not sure who you are. I just wish to get back to my research. Time is running out.
What? You keep saying time is running out and something is coming. What is coming? Should we be preparing for something?
One of us is preparing for something. I'm trying to give the next generation a chance to survive.
Survive what?
Whatever is coming. Existential crises happen multiple times a day throughout the universe. Humanity's hold on this existence is fleeting. The stars are going out, if you have not heard. And yes, I know Alexius has managed to reignite one of them. Very dimly, I doubt that it will support any life on any planet nearby. This way, humanity survives. Those adapted to the deepest, darkest parts of the ocean have no need to fear. For a while, anyway. The dimming of the light. Geothermal power and geothermal heat keep the deepest reaches of the oceans warm for centuries beyond when the lights go out. This is the way that we survive the coming darkness.
Who's we? Humanity?
Yes, of course.
But they're no longer really human.
We are no longer really the same species that left Holy Terra. You have an arm that is not yours. You are, no offense, barely human as it is. There are alien races. There are things which change humans into things they are not.
So you're a prepper.
I am preparing, yes. I'm trying to give what hope I can to those who face the darkness that comes.
How many people have you prepared for the darkness?
What was your name again?
Kathy.
None.
Just tell you're lying too.
Then we are both on the same page.
So you are seeking to prepare people for what is to come. But you are taking children in a vulnerable age away from their parents and changing them into something different without a parental figure to watch over them and nurture them.
No, I have that figured out.
How have you figured that out?
Not all of the early ones died. The graphs date best to pre-adolescence, but there have been successes before that. I would not release children into an ocean by themselves. I'm not a monster.
But what are you doing to prepare them for the ocean? You've taken them away from their home, from their family, from their life?
No, they do not remember.
So you've wiped their memories.
It seemed the most humane thing to do.
The most humane thing to do is just leave them be, but
And let them die?
they're not dead yet.
They will be shortly. Markan, I know the devil that I have gotten into bed with. He has his way. Byzantium Secundus will fall in flames. I use the devil's money.
So Markin is planning for the downfall of Byzantium cities.
There's always someone. The barbarians. We use Urtek without understanding who or what it is that we use. There are things in the dark that wait. The sun's... Did I mention the sun's going out? There has to be something done, or we die, and hope dies with us.
What if you pursue the light rather than preparing for the darkness?
Typical response from the church member. Faith will not save us. There's no evidence of faith. My work, there's evidence. There is a thriving community. There have been some disappointments. Most recently, the Mambo, Fineman, and not Dr. Fineman, and Dr. Fineman. They seem to find it humorous.
Namaker?
My name. Some of the Morlocs have taken to calling me Dr. Fineman.
So what's your story? How did you get into this?
Jexa's gonna kind of back up and send a message to Mateo. She's also tempted to send one to the Inquisitor.
Alright, what are your messages saying?
Mateo, it's we're at the ship, or we've docked, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were going to be here.
Where are you?
Yeah, where are you?
It is strange, isn't it?
Sure, it wasn't like he forgot. Checking to see if Master Bella can provide any insight into Dr. Fineman. And then to the Inquisitor. This is hard. Because there's a part of me that doesn't want to get him involved, but another part of me that does.
You don't want to do it, I can do it.
To the Inquisitor about just kind of have a morality question here for you.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of phrase it in I have a morality question. Someone is preparing, someone believes stars are going out, and so they are acting in order to help preserve humanity. But if I'm not comfortable with what they are doing, should I really stop them? So
Hypothetical.
So
Jexa's not even going to bother with hypothetical.
You get no response from Mateo at all.
Okay.
That's comforting.
It's the equivalent of it going, the
I don't suppose
Hawkward.
I have Lorenzo's number.
The Hawkward customer you are attempting to reach is not available currently.
Can I call the police station?
There's no answer there either.
Alright, so yeah, I just want
Dope. We might have just got a whole bunch of people killed. Woo!
We did it. Wasn't us.
Not even remotely. That was no sarcasm. If something goes wrong, definitely not your fault.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything else we want to get out of this guy? I mean, we got who he's working for, we got why he's doing it, we just haven't figured out who's funding it.
Okay, that's one person.
You get a message back about 20 minutes later from Bella.
Okay.
Jexa, good to hear from you. Yeah, I know Thaddeus. Where did you find him? He went missing about 3 years back. we think it was one of the original incidents with the station. He was coming back from leave, and there was a rupture on the ship. Most of a large section of his airlock suddenly wasn't there, and he sustained pretty traumatic damage. And, well, he lost his family. I was the one who had to preside over his dismissal. He started behaving erratically. He started delving into areas of research that even we weren't comfortable with. So, if you see him, leave him alone. He is erratic at best, possibly unhinged. If you are ignoring that and send me that picture of him strapped down to a chair, and that is the cargo hold of the Oh Boy, then I'm ordering you to bring him back to the station, where the Engineers Guild can handle its own. I expect a response within the hour.
She gets to the response right away that says,
"He's my new boyfriend!"
"Okie dokie, on our way."
He's my new boyfriend. Just want to run him by you. We're totally serious.
Nope, that's not what Jexa says.
Do we have, I'm assuming in our med bay, we would have some kind of tranquilizer?
Sure.
Sedation.
Yeah, you know that Alestra has like a ton of morphine.
Woo! So here's the problem. If
She's
we
made
take
that
him
clear a number of times. Just
away from the kids, what happens to the kids?
They can't be reversed.
Right.
I don't know.
Maybe just, hey, Engineers Guild, here's a problem for you.
I mean, kind of also nights, those running this place.
Right, well, we need to figure out what happened in the nights. Okay, I'm gonna trank him real good.
give me a will plus
Remedy?
Remedy
Will plus
roll.
fight.
No.
Okay, so that's a 9.
You eventually get a message back from your friendly inquisitor. It's like, well, I mean, what's your... I'm pleased that you called me. That is what the Inquisition is so here for.
Yeah.
Remember that it's not all technology that is bad, but how we use it and how we apply it. There are pieces of technology that are horrific. But even in just my limited exposure to you, I would say that I trust your judgment. If you think that something needs to be investigated by myself or by my staff, then by all means, let me know where you're at, and I will send... Well, I probably won't send... He still really wants to know if you are getting your treatments. However, if you are...
Redundant organs! No!
According to the message you sent me, you're on the Santium Secundus and can be there in 12 hours if need be. If you believe there's something the Inquisition should look into, let me know.
Raise your hand if you just critted on tranking this dude.
Dude is out. He has no tongue to loll. He's out.
Okay.
Alestra, if you're watching, you're down a vial of morphine.
I have 9 BP, so I tranked him real good.
You ignore resistance on a crit, remember? So you just do resistance.
I just have 9 VP to just... Can I do it with Flare then?
You do. Yeah, you are like Tom Cruise in Cocktail when you drank this guy. You hold the needle still, just slap the guy.
That makes so much more sense.
That's how this works, right? Can I use...
I'm gonna be the medic.
Alright, I tranked him real good. I critted him. Can I say that then maybe I use those extra 9 to really secure him?
Yeah, you can use because you can
like hog tie him up real good.
You can improve the result.
Okay,
so
he is not going anywhere until we drop him off where he needs to be. Do we need to investigate his creepy locket?
I don't know. Jexa doesn't really want to get involved.
And we'll secure him and take him to the right people.
The right people are the Engineers Guild or the Inquisitor? I'm leaning towards the Engineers Guild.
I am too, because I don't... We have one nice Inquisitor. I don't know. My concern... Well, here's my thought. If we go... This is Manny.
We have one nice Inquisitor.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, we killed bad ones.
Second one showed up, though.
Oh, that's true.
My thought is, if we go to the the Engineers Guild, there was more likely to be compassion for the project, whereas I feel like the Inquisition is just going to be like,
I would like to go take him to the Engineers Guild, and I would like to direct the Inquisitor to Mateo to assist him in the Morlocs.
In Markin.
Can
I radio...
Yeah, Sir Mateo of the Knights.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Theophana and...
Yeah.
Emerson?
Nurse, what was his name? Yeah, Emerson. And just let them know, hey, this is what's going on. Do you think we should involve the Inquisition? Do you want an Inquisition presence here on the eve of everything that's going on?
No.
Okay. So we should hold off on the Inquisition.
Yes.
Okay. Can you, time delay a message?
Sure. Totally can. And with the Inquisitor, I want to direct him to Sir Mateo, and just tell the Inquisitor, children have been, stolen, parents have been killed, the group is called the Morlocs, and we believe someone named Markin is involved. Sir Mateo is the one to contact if you can help, type thing. Not like, hey, here's all the things that he did. And so we want to take Dr. Thaddeus Fineman.
Fineman.
To the Engineers. So I will tell her we are on our way.
Chase Spears thing.
You can't trick me.
That's why I tranked him real good.
Yeah. It's a 24-hour round trip, and you have 16 before you ship out.
So you have to stay here. Then I will say a prayer for their protection.
Yeah, why are you praying?
That's what I do.
Well, that makes sense. You don't wear a hat. Pray at the drop of one. Anyone's.
Yeah.
Well, why are you praying now?
Because I'm staying behind. No, really, I'm staying behind.
Do what?
No, this is me stepping off the ship.
Jexa is just going, oh, thank goodness it's somebody else this time.
Where's Alexa? She's still at the hospital?
She's still at Sanctuary Aeon, so she's still on planet right now.
Okay.
Her Anna Wester.
I just want to Baiting Nigel. Debating if I want to bring Nigel with me. So I have accepted the orders for this mission. I can't tell you anything about it.
Wait, not this mission.
No.
Another mission.
The mission that is going on with Battle Order that they are prepping for.
Church stuff.
That's the, pray. Gregor.
So you're all going to pray a lot?
Yep. That's all we're going to do. Pray a lot.
You told me something. Yeah.
Pray a lot. We need to make sure this man gets delivered to the Engineers Guild.
Right. Yeah.
That he doesn't slip out of their grasp.
He is pretty slippery.
Really is.
Yeah.
I touched him.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's got bones. It's like, keep going back to it, but it's like poking a Stretch Armstrong.
You need to keep these people safe.
Yeah. Well, you were building up to a good speech. I thought you were going to say something I didn't know.
No,
I
I
know what I'm here.
All chaperoning duties fall to you now in my absence.
Right. That means no going to the police station.
But we don't know what happened to the police. They're not answering. We should
Maybe
go
if we're lucky.
that.
I took off my explosive. I wouldn't be the one, but things happen.
What kind of things?
Cracker blew up the police station and didn't tell us.
Is that what happened? Is that why we can't get a hold of the police?
Right, so how long are you going to be gone?
Gregor.
I don't know. They didn't give me a time
Nope.
frame.
We'll hang out here. It's fine.
Yeah, that's up to the captain. You're coming back, though, right?
Gemma, say yes. Gemma, say yes.
This isn't goodbye. If it were goodbye, I'd say something like, it's good to have a friend on the ship. But my friend's coming back, so I wouldn't say something like that. I'll be right back. And he leaves.
So you have to listen to Gregor now.
You definitely see Octavius go running by the car.
Not gonna miss that. You know where Frank is?
Nope.
I will walk over to Jexa, and I will fix the scarf in her hair, even the little singed bits. Make sure her hair's out of her face. I say, I'm gonna be gone for a little bit. I don't know what lies ahead.
But you're coming back, and we gotta go find St. Beatrice. So say yes. Say yes, Jexa, I am coming back. And we will move on from there.
I would like to think I'm coming back.
It's okay if you lie to me. Just say yes, Jexa, I'm coming back.
It is not in my nature to lie to you, Jexa.
Just pretend like you can.
Our relationship has never been built on lies, and so I don't want to start now.
I interrupt you and just like hug you in the middle, like, that was a great way to say, I'll be right back, Jexa.
I stoop down and pat her on the back. Don't listen to everything Calypso says. Meditation is always a good idea. And Gregor means well.
He does.
He hasn't had a lot of practice as a parent.
Yeah, he
Well,
He left the room.
he came back. Like right now.
Okay.
Not a parrot. Chaperone. And a friend. And he hands you what looks like about the size of a big grenade with like an extendable antenna. So this is hardwired in the ship. Press that button. We'll know you're back. Even if we're not like, it may take a while. About say 3 days. Jump gates, that sort of thing. But yeah. When you come back.
Okay.
Your church prayer stuff.
Prayer retreat.
Sounds awful. I mean, sorry.
And then I'll go to my quarters and gather my things, and I'll come back with, I think I had one of the wooden Beatrice icons.
You did?
From the crypt. And in the meantime, I have put it on kind of a chain. And I'll take it off and I will put it on Jexa and I'll say, keep an eye on this for me. I know you're still figuring out this prayer thing, but Beatrice is always listening. I have found her, even her silence, to be a comfort. You know that Calypso will have different ideas and different prerogatives for you, but I never told you what happened to Calypso tonight.
I'll tell you when you get back.
We'll have it in the cab.
We'll have a conversation when Gemma leaves.
I need to take care of something?
We're good.
Yeah, I don't trust.
This way, you have to come back to find out what it is.
Also, keep Frank out of my room.
Yeah, I'll try. He's got more arms than I have. Yeah.
Right, if my bed is just one big ink blot when I get back, I'm taking yours.
Yeah. Yes, that's fine. Right now, I'll do my best.
And remember, one hamper.
Right. No fish.
No fish.
Right.
It's a fish.
Saw this guy's been turning people in.
Yeah.
Yeah, no fish.
No. Okay. Sure.
No fish.
Don't become a fish.
Yeah.
Can you turn her into a fish and make her turn her to you?
That's what I'm saying. Keep an eye on him.
Right.
Chaperoning involves no
Inappropriate
modifications.
Jexa's just kind of like...
That's all parenting is. I got this thing now.
Because Gemma's curses that she's clueless when it comes to social cues.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
She's how Jexa, she's saluted Gregor, and she will just kind of awkwardly back out with her stuff. Wave. And then she wants to go check on the police station if she has time, but...
Okay, we'll come back to you in a second. Alright, where are we going to now?
We're gonna go, we're taking him to Master Bella.
Which one's Master Bella?
The one who's on the ship with us.
Right. And he just kind of...
Just ran away with engineer school, I guess.
At the last possible second, close the door, and you guys head off to the station.
Okay.
Anything you're doing on the trip for the 12 hours as you head out...
Looking for Frank.
Where's that?
Now I'm nervous.
He has a butter knife
and a smoke stick.
Yep. You you spend like a good 2 hours. The ship is not that large. Looking for Frank, and you finally find him in the mess hall, kind of like right behind and above the door in the dark. You just see that like the fake smoke stick that just kind of he's like stuck to the wall, just watching you.
Okay, hey buddy. I need to go back to my bunk.
All right. Several hours later, you dock with the station on the edge of the system.
Can I get a hold of Master Bella?
As soon as you dock, the comms. I'm waiting at docking pad 63. Get here quick. Have it reserved.
Okay, Gregor, we need to get to docking 63.
Right. As soon as the rear gate is down, the rear ramp is down enough that she can leap onto it, Bella is on there, and you can see there are 3 or 4 Engineers Guild members who don't seem to be the kind of people proficient with fine and delicate work.
Right, they're the lifters. They hold the heavy things up.
They pick them up and put them down.
Yes.
They pick them up and put
Just
them
like
down.
teasing.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Did the Inquisitor respond to me telling him to get in contact with Sir Mateo?
Not at this point. No.
Okay. Just
Good. We need 16 hours.
Where is he? Are you okay? What has he been doing? How did you find out? Does anyone else know?
Hi, I'm fine, I think. He has been making fish people. He's over there.
Because they don't have to. Okay.
That makes sense to you?
Vaguely, yes.
Because he says the stars are all going out, so he's going to save humanity by turning us all into fish.
Well, I mean, the stars are going out. That is why the game is called Baby Sun.
Well,
yeah.
Yes. But he says because the stars are going out.
Yes, that makes
sense. He's turning us all into fish.
Well, that makes sense. That is brilliant.
Insert checker.
What does it say? Check.
And after what happened to Tamara and the rest, he's been looking for a way to save everyone.
He kind of left his experiments on Xanthium Secundus.
Can you give me access to your records so that I can send an engineer guild team there?
Sure. I guess I would like to insight check her. I mean, it's kind of one of those things where Jexa is fairly certain that Master Bella is on level. But if she already knows about that, he is fine with it.
Right, and the fact that it could just be, intelligence meeting intelligence, but the fact that she's already like, so they could be in the room. I don't like that.
She's not, acting different from the bit I knew of her before we went to the asteroid. Because Calypso's now told me about the fact that Master Bella has some weird demonic signal on her head for heat.
Give me a...
She's on the space station. What was the name of it?
Give me an perception plus empathy roll.
Perception plus empathy? Okay. The space station is called... It was in my previous book, and I don't have it in this. Perception plus empathy. Oh, that's a 9.
On the station?
Yes. Thank you.
Columns?
Yep.
I'm going to take from my bank 6 and turn it into a 15.
Okay.
4.
Now, rolls like this are automatically blinded. You don't know what the person's mental resistance is because you're going into it not knowing what your character reads.
Right.
So.
Right. Alright, that was 6. Oh man. Her mind resistance is probably about 10. Can I get above a 10? Mind resistance? She's master.
I believe so.
It's probably like a 6.
Well, in the engineer skill, there's some kind of level. Get an additional mind resistance. It's 5.
So you get 3 per level instead of 2.
But if you go up 5 levels.
Oh, yeah.
Search.
We could search. Alright, I'll go ahead and I'll search. I will then spend 12 in an attempt to get above her.
Okay, and what are you trying to figure out? She's not acting different than she was before.
I am trying to figure out her intent with knowing this information. Like, is it she intends to help him?
That's more than you can kind of pick up with a reading of a person. That makes sense. It's empathy is a mind reading.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm looking.
She seems very concerned that Fineman has shown up. She definitely is more concerned right now with what he has been doing and where he has been doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't get the feeling that she's lied to you.
And I mean, and that's kind of what I wanted. Was to see, like, she has been, like, I want to trust her.
Okay. Yeah,
so
she's there.
like,
even with everything you spent, she has given you no reason not to trust her.
Okay. Alright.
Alright, we will.
So yeah, I'll give her everything.
We will take him. Try and tell her.
Okay. What do
Don't
we do?
mention this to Alphonsus. This is the sort of thing that will bring the position down.
The problem is whoever he has hired him has been killing people for this.
Can you leave his name out of it? Thaddeus was a good member of the Engineers Guild. A good man. There are just things in this universe that are more than we can bear.
Do you know who a Markham is? He's apparently one of the financiers. Thaddeus.
I have never heard of his name.
Or have you heard of Morlocs? The Morloc Guild?
It's not a guild.
Or,
I do think I remember something about a gang. Some security report that came through the station. They were trying to get out here.
I have not mentioned any specifics because they're the police or the knights down in Byzantium seem to be overwhelmed. If we can get them help, that would be good. But because the Agora is no longer a safe place for him.
Well, that is beyond the engineer's guilt. But we do take care of our own. I'll make sure that is taken care of. She motions and the three lifters come on. I want those zip ties back.
Did you cut zip ties? I mean, okay.
They carry him out unconscious.
Okay.
Where will you... No, that's where we'll leave Jexa and the crew of the Old Boy.
Okay.
Gemma,
Yes.
on your way to St. Maya's Cathedral, you swing by the Hawkwood Knights.
Mm-hmm.
There are three knights in the atrium of the small station. Yes, excuse me, can we help you?
I was just looking for Mateo.
Oh, Sir Mateo has been recalled up the hill.
The hill to...
Imperial District.
Imperial District. What does that mean?
Above my pay grade, sister. I am Sir Donovan. Is there anything I can do to help you?
No, I had borrowed something from Mateo and was hoping to return it, so I was just trying to check in and find him.
He was called up just a couple of hours ago. Sent up the hill. You could check in with Hawkwood administration, I guess. They rotated the whole crew out.
Does the name Markin mean anything to you?
We've heard tales. Some sort of noble. I think sort of the name right. Throws a bunch of parties.
Yeah, it's a name I heard in the Agora. I was going to ask. I'm new, so I was going to ask if if these were the parties to get into, or if they were the parties to avoid.
No. Don't get invited to many parties up the Imperial Court.
That's fine. Well, thank you for your time.
My pleasure, sister. If there's anything else that you need, let us know. We have your statement, yes?
Yes.
Alright.
Mateo had it on file. Is Lorenzo here? He was
His
transferred?
whole squad got rotated up.
Is that usually a good thing? Like promotion?
Usually, yes. Job well done, that sort of thing.
Alright, well, thank you.
Glad to help.
I will head out. Yeah. I'll calm.
Dear Jexa, stop. How are you? It's been 15 minutes.
Trouble in paradise. Stop. No, I'll calm Jexa and Gregor and say, hey, something weird's going on. The whole unit has been, and I'll put in quotes, moved up to the Imperial corner squad unit thing. Yep. Feels suspicious. Wondering if Markin had something for it. Wondering if the funder had something to do with it. Because I don't want to say Markin.
Okay.
And then I will head to the cathedral. I also want to touch base with Theophana and just say flamethrowers. We need as many flamethrowers as possible.
Already? You just get back. Already requisitioned. And as you walk up to the cathedral, you can see gunships that are starting to take up, heading up to where the transports were to mount up on the larger frame of the order transport. And as you kind of head into you head out of the light of the Agora into sort of the cool vastness of the inside of the battle order area of the cathedral. And you can see, well, two things. The transport you're heading to has the symbol of the jump gate on the side, but one of the it almost looks like the light that's coming through the jump gate is in the shape of a blade, so the jump gate cross sort of looks like the cross piece on a sword, the guard of the sword. And you can see standing kind of in the shadows next to the open transport door 4 large battle order figures in not in full armor, but in kind of the vestments of travel. And as you walk up, that is where we will end. When we come back in January, we will pick up with Gemma's story and Operation RavenWatch.
Do I recognize that jump gate, the symbol?
The jump gate cross?
Mm-hmm.
It is. You recognize a lot of the squads and the units in the battle order will have some variation on the jump gate cross as kind of the symbol of their division or their squad or their unit. So,
And is this one familiar at all to me?
you can very quickly call it up, and it belongs to the 18th division, which is known as the Avenging Light. Well, that brings to a close, maybe not our first year of playing, well, definitely our first year of playing Fading Suns, but our first 2019 of playing Fading Suns. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the story so far. There's a lot more to go with side stories and back on the road towards Beatrice. Everything else that's going to happen in 2020. So thank you both for playing. To the crew of the Oh Boy who is not here, if you're watching this, you missed, and we look forward to seeing you in January. And to all of our viewers, both here and on YouTube, thank you. We hope you're enjoying it. We hope you will stick with us. There is exciting news. It sounds like Fading Suns will be kickstarted here, according to Bill's posts, Q1. So who knows what we'll have when we come back. We will keep you updated. And from all of us at Iconic, just thank you and have a Merry Christmas. We'll see you on Fading Suns next year. But tomorrow night, the final episode of Gebercan for the year. And then Monday and Tuesday, we will finish up 13th Age and Horror for the year. So we will see you then. Good gaming.